I mean, we just heard the news about Hillary Clinton. I'm not running for president, but I'm going to keep speaking out. It's like, the more she speaks out, I think the more she helps Donald Trump.
I do. I really do believe that too. I've said it a million times. So just go away. You're not doing anybody any favors except us, the people that support the Constitution, the people that support the president. So, but it's just you really have nothing left to say except to try to be relevant, and it's almost sad. It's almost pathetic, and that's where. But you're right. If she wants to keep speaking out, she wants to keep saying things, and that's great. Keep giving more ammunition for the opposition party, and allow them to have talking points. But on my aspect, really, I don't know if anything's ever going to come of it where she's actually going to go to prison for what she did to us, to the team, to the people in Libya itself. But you know what? Karma will always catch up to you in the end, and I do believe that.
How do you compare the Trump presidency to the Obama presidency?
Well, you don't have a politician in office. That's the beauty of it. That's why I when people say, it's still politics. It's still the president. It's still dirty Washington, which Washington is dirty. I mean, I was involved. That still is a very awful place to be in. Very manipulative people. But President Trump's not a politician. That's the beauty of it. That's why I love that he really is shaking up the tree. He's really shaking things around to get things changed. And he's doing what politicians don't do. He's keeping to his word. Whether he gets blasted in the media or not, or blasted by people, even people within his own party, he's still doing what he said he was going to do. And that to me, that's honorable. And I don't see how the media can continue to attack a president who's just doing what he promised he said he was going to do. And that's what he's doing, even when he's running into oppositions on his own party and then, of course, on the opposite party. So I like what he's doing. I like he sticks to his guns. I like that he's abrasive, because that's me too. I love being abrasive when you have to be. When you're right, you can be abrasive. But I do love that he's not a politician, and that's what we need in office right now, somebody who's not a typical D.C. Ivy League, guy that's just always been in the political arena. He actually did something before that. He has experience. He has world experience. He has business experience. He has wisdom. He has street smarts. That's what we needed in office. Somebody in office.
And I like the way that he's willing to go after the Republicans, just like he'll go after the Democrats. Yeah, we're talking with Kris Tanto Paronto. He was part of the CIA annex security team that responded to the terrorist attack on the U.S. Special Mission in Benghazi, Libya, September 11, 2012, helping to save over 20 lives while fighting off terrorists for over 13 hours. Kris Tanto Paronto, you talked about the media. Let's talk about social media, too. I mean, when a terrorist regime in Iran gets a slap on the wrist for actual death threats on social media, they just get a slap on the wrist. But people like you get discriminated against by Twitter and some of these social media companies.
It's just platforms they use as propaganda platforms. Yeah, I saw it when I was overseas. You saw that with Al Jazeera. You saw that without Libya. You saw it with TV. Whenever you're in a country with a group that's in charge that can control the media because they can sway minds, if they're people that are easily swayed. And it's the same MO that they were trying to do here with Twitter that they try to do with just the mainstream media in itself. But, the good thing about the American people, though, and the majority of them that I talk to and see, is that a lot of them are starting to turn it off, or going back and using Facebook or Instagram just for fun, not actually trying to get their political agendas out. Now, that still is a way to do it. People still repost here and there on things, but even on my way I do it is on those things. I just don't get involved anymore. And really, is you use your own brain, use some common sense. Don't be easily swayed by what you see in front of your face on that screen, and get back to where when we grew up, just straight up common sense. Does it sound right? No. Is it a duck? Does it quack like a duck? Well, then it probably is a duck. Even though Hillary Clinton said, where there's smoke, there's usually not fire. Well, there is. Use your common sense. So don't go to the media, social media and the mainstream media, and try to use that as a propaganda tool, because that's what they're doing. And that's why Iran gets that simple slap on the wrist, and people that speak out against the mainstream media, speak out against the status quo on Twitter, the jacks over there on Twitter, they're going to get reprimanded. But I expected that, and that's just how it is. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop speaking out from time to time. But again, I'm also going to use my common sense when something comes down the pipe, and I say, you know what, that just doesn't sound right. why don't we do a little bit more research before I start getting a little angry or start spouting off about something in the political arena? And that's what everybody should do. Just take a step back.
Yeah.
Say, you know what? I don't know if that's right. Let's look at it a little bit more. Or, you know what? That is right. I've done my research. I looked at that. Yes, okay. Well, you know, let's go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah, the quick reactions.
Yeah,
everybody be so quick to judge, whether it was the Covington Catholic kids or the Kavanaugh nonsense.
Yes.
Everybody's so quick to judge everything with knee-jerk reactions on social media. Yeah, you know, it's interesting talking foreign policy. You know, I've interviewed Obama's ambassador to Russia because he's a Montana guy, and even he admitted on this radio show. He said, "Yeah, actually, a lot of the failures in Russia were under the Obama administration," and he actually admitted that the Trump administration has actually been very tough against Russia foreign policy. How offensive is it to you that some of the same people who brushed Benghazi under the rug now try to act like and who knew that the Obama administration was weak on Russia now try to attack the Trump administration for what they claim to be weak on Russia or foreign policy?
You know, and that's what kills me the most with the people that want to attack Trump as far as his foreign policy. We seem to forgot who really destroyed Libya, who made Libya a failed state. Well, it was Obama. The Obama administration made Libya a failed state. And now we attack Trump when Trump says, well, you know, we probably need to get out of Syria. Well, we probably shouldn't have been in there to begin with. And what administration put us in there? That was the Obama administration trying to overthrow another dictator. Who made ISIS? Who allowed terrorism to just rear up again until President Trump came in and squashed it? Well, that was the Obama administration. There are so many free passes that Obama has gotten on the foreign policy, and I was part of that. I was involved with it. I was overseas in it, not just sitting in the States. I was actually over in Afghanistan, over in Yemen. I went to Sana'a after Libya into that mess where we destroyed Yemen. Well, who was the administration part of? That was the Obama administration. He is getting free passes left and right. Why President Trump is actually doing, again, what he said he was going to do. He's trying to fix that mess that's over there, doing his best to fix his mess that's over there, even though he's running in opposition again within his own party and the opposite party. And he's still, I think, doing a good job. It's not going to happen overnight, but he's trying to fix it. But the mess wasn't started by President Trump. He took it on. It was started by Obama. And I was a part of all that. Whether it was in Yemen, whether it was in Libya, whether it was in Iraq, whether it was in Afghanistan. I served in all those countries over those 10 years.
And you had to deal with it firsthand, and you had to deal with the consequences firsthand and all that.
Sir. Less
than a couple minutes to go here as we talk with Kris Tanto Paronto, MontanaTalks.com if you want to find info about his speaking engagement here in Montana next month. What's the most important message you want to get across to folks across the state right now?
You know, just keep your head up, keep faith, keep chugging along. People, I've spoken everywhere in this country over the last 3 years, and you know, as much as the media says that we are divided, and I know we're talking right now on the radio, talking about politics, we want to get into it a little bit, but when people take a step back and put the politics aside, we really do get along. I've spoken at the last two events I've done have been on 50-50 Republican and Democrat crowds, and you know, I talk about heroism and motivation, overcoming adversity. And people still get that. It still resonates with everybody. So we're not in a terrible negativity here, guys. We're not in a terrible downfall. We're not. I think this country is still the greatest country in the world, and I still see fantastic people on both sides of the aisle once we're able to say and put the politics aside. Now, still have your political views. I do. I'm a Second Amendment guy. I like guns. I support the military, of course. I support the Constitution. But, you know, I also have friends on the other side that are liberals. I do. And we get along just fine.
Yeah.
So what I say is just don't just prejudge. Don't knee jerk, like you said before. Don't knee jerk. Take a step back. Now, if there's somebody that's just excuse my language, if there's somebody that's an ass, well, they're probably an ass regardless.
That's right.